All right.
Gigazor knows only violence, and I'm ready to Eldritch Blast some motherfuckers.
I'm glad we got
Blast.
that audio clip.
Oh no!
All right. So, welcome back. Episode 15. This is not the fourth time we start the game. For sure. No way. All right. So, we have one new player. Peter, I want you to go ahead and I want you to introduce yourself. Whatever is important to you as a person, and then what everyone knows about your character, and then a physical description for me, okay?
I am Peter. Uh, um, sorry.
What's important to
What's
you as a human? It could be nothing. It's totally a good option.
um, I don't know.
Okay, that's fine. All right, describe your character to us.
Um, so Mfoodle is a small gnome, carrying a large quarterstaff that's a bit. It's like a regular sized quarterstaff, so it's quite large. Um, it's not so much carrying it as it's sort of carrying him. That's not exactly true.
Sure.
It's dressed in just so many pouches. It seems like the garments are made out of pouches. It's unclear exactly why, because they don't seem all to be full. Although many of them are. We're talking lots of different kinds of pouches, like bandolier style pouches, and like pouches on his belt, and there's like a pouch at the end of his quarterstaff, like the sword that you throw, like the thing they throw over their shoulder in the cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Lots of pouches, and it's like moss sticking out of some of the pouches, so like in feathers and things in the pouches. A lot of them aren't important things. Maybe they're important to him.
And you're playing a druid, right?
Sorry, I'm playing it with.
All right, and your race. Yeah, you already said that. All right,
Right.
cool. So
Yay.
we have a little bit of upkeeping to do. So you will all notice a new handout called Once Per Game Abilities. Something has happened, and an adventurer has pleased a god. Once per game, one of you can call upon Paimon's ability. You can pray to them, and you will get an action surge, which basically gives you an extra action. I think you're muted.
No,
Paige.
I'm having I'm going on a journey of
A journey. Yeah.
brain things. So in character, we know we can do that.
Yeah, in character, basically, this god has given Gathol favor. Basically, has pleased him in some way. I guess them. Sorry. But then now, basically, you can call out to them or pray to them during combat, and they will give you an extra action.
Do we know who Paimon is?
They are a god of dance and performance.
Okay.
Neat.
Cool. Just checking. That name was uncomfortably familiar, and I was having a mild where did we go wrong?
Okay.
Like it's
So it's a god of dance.
Dance and performance. Yep.
reminiscent of a Digimon that resembles a pie.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Right.
And is this like a normal D&D pantheon god or something?
It is, in fact, a normal
Hooray.
D&D pantheon god.
Cool.
All right. Cool. So now let us talk about what you guys did between now and last time. Arethi was working on an evacuation plan for Sparrow's Crest, right?
No, it wasn't Sparrow's
It was
Crest.
for like the front area.
Yeah, it's for the Gathol citizens on the outside in light of the events connected to Sparrow's Crest.
Okay. So that will basically increase the defense of the town a little bit.
Cool.
Sparrow's Crest.
Sparrow's Crest is another town. I will move you over to the overmap so we can all look at that. All right, so this is kind of the overmap. There are basically 3 different biomes that you would see, Peter. This one here is like the plains. This is like a hugely dense forest with a wizard's tower all the way in the back here. And this is sort of like an island, archipelago, ocean type area, which you guys haven't really explored yet. So this is
Where's my
Gathol.
lemon area?
Yeah, this is all
Lemon?
you've explored of it.
Okay.
So this is where you're from. This is Gathol here. This
Okay.
is the town that they've expanded to, a nice little lumber mill you guys all set up. So you've worked on basically an escape plan for these guys. So that's good.
Since they are like exposed and on the outside.
Right, cool. So Keegan, you were working on more mushroom relations, right?
The idea.
Yep.
Someone say mushroom relations?
Yeah, mushroom relations. Right over here, there is a little mushroom town. Imagine like how illithids or mind flayers work, but level 1 mushroom equivalents. Like they have an elder Brian and all that stuff, an elder brain, and they're just low level illithids, but they seem nice. Cool. So yeah, I mean you're basically their friend now. They don't have any new news, but oh, actually they do. They do have news. They let you know that ghouls have been prowling around the forest. I mean, you sort of probably knew that already, but like they know like yeah, you know, hey, there are
Good
ghouls
news.
around. Also, there are significantly less kobolds prowling around. They also let you know that they think the ghouls are killing the kobolds.
I was happy for like 1 second.
I mean, solve one problem with another.
Yeah, we'll get rid of all
Kobolds are
these
like
snakes by putting
like
badgers.
small lizard.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Peter.
Kobolds are like small lizard people.
Yeah, kobolds are small lizard people. Yep.
Cool.
All right.
The worst dragons.
It's the worst dragons. All right, and Sage was working on reading that that book and finding out weaknesses to ghouls. So we had already talked about how these ghouls seem to differ from regular ghouls in the fact that they are not weak to sunlight.
Yeah.
They are resistant to necrotic. They are immune to poison.
Resistant to.
Are you just writing this on your hand?
Yep.
Rogues take notes. Don't question it.
Okay.
Immune to.
They
Well,
can
my
steal your notebook. They can't steal your hands.
I will grab my notebook when we have a break. But
They can't
right
be
now,
charmed, exhausted, or poisoned.
be charmed or exhausted. Okay.
And they are. 1 second. Now these are just sort of the general ones. Weaker ones
Okay.
may be more vulnerable than the normal ones, or like the stronger ones.
Okay.
So these are just things to watch out for.
Okay.
See.
Are my hit points reset back up to 17?
Yeah, you had full.
Okay.
points,
And then do my successes clear?
Yeah. Yeah.
Should my strength be -1?
Yes.
Okay. Perfect.
All right.
Great. All right.
And yeah, that's it. They're not like weak against anything. But they're also undead. So anything that like would affect an undead, like turn undead, or there are plenty of spells that you could tell people about that would, that would help you there.
Okay.
Yeah. So those are all the things that you find out from that book.
Okay.
All right.
The-
Yeah. So what I was describing, Peter, is basically like we sort of have like a living world. So between games, like it's sort of like a downtime system. Like you kind of put your character on autopilot doing like one thing, and then they do that. All right, cool. So
Ghouls, they like. Is it well known that they feed on the dead, or is that just like? Would that be a lore check or roll for something?
yeah. So you can roll, yeah, if you want. Go ahead and give me a history check.
Ooh, history.
Yeah. You would know that they used to, but that you don't know if that is still the case. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
it's hard to say because they've changed a lot. Cool. So, you all meet up. Keen actually, you guys all meet up in sort of this large, great hall, and Keen actually is gonna walk out with you guys. Like he's gonna kind of escort you, like walk and talk style, into the outside, the sort of outer Gathol here. And he sort of is explaining like there's still a lot of work to do, but I had heard reports that they had to take down the bridge right here.
Take down the what?
The bridge, this bridge that's
Ooh,
over this
okay.
river. So they had to take down the bridge. So he's like saying like, yeah. So he's like, so he
We know
walks
why?
down the path with you all, and you actually see a group like a traveling caravan. Like some tents have been set up and stuff like that, and there are a bunch of orcs just like kind of walking around, like cooking, doing normal things that, you know, like they're not attacking or doing anything like that, but they've pulled the bridge onto your side, so it would be hard for them to kind of cross that river. And Keen sort of like gives like one of these looks, and he's like, before you go out on your adventure, could you all take care of that?
What do you mean take care of it?
However, you all are the small council. If you want to speak with them or move them, I trust you.
Do you want them moved?
Well, we might want to find out at least what they're doing here.
I can talk to them. I'm sure one of us can make some
Who's
kind
the
of
mayor?
helpful communication.
I'm sorry, Peter. What did you
Hopefully.
say?
Oh, I just said I read something out. I read out loud. Oh, he's the mayor. I said he's
Yeah,
the
Yeah,
mayor.
Keen is the mayor. Yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
I found him.
I certainly don't have a problem speaking with them.
I unfortunately don't speak Orcish, but I'm
Oh, that's right.
maybe they
That
speak
would
common.
Do they speak common?
concern.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't speak Orcish, but if they speak Common, I can talk to them.
He nods and he's like, "All right, I'm going to go gather up some guards just in case." And then he walks off.
That
Guards, it's like they don't trust me or something.
well, it may be in case something goes poorly.
So there's no bridge. So I am the only person currently who can get across the river unless we put the bridge down, which
You
kind
could-
of explains the guards.
You guys could like walk, swim across it. Like it's not super hard, but the bridge being moved is mostly like if the orcs tried to cross it, you'd have a lot of time to like prepare.
Right.
Okay.
So we can get across. It's just hard.
So I suppose this is probably the best time to mention this. A while ago, I had a bit of a run-in with a few other members of Gathol. We ran into some orcs, and
I didn't mean to click on that.
the
It's okay.
relations were not exactly kind, to say. And I know at least one of them managed to escape. It is possible that if they see me, they may be less than amiable.
You think it's the same community of orcs?
I'm not sure, truthfully.
Do you know what they had against you?
I'm not, actually. I tried to speak with the ones we found, but they attacked us immediately. I'm not sure if these are. I'm not sure if these orcs are from the same community or not, but it felt worth mentioning.
Good note. Can you disguise yourself at all?
Not effectively.
Maybe you
all I
should
got.
hang back.
I can. That's probably the course.
Stay within long range spell distance, just in case they try to stab us, since pretty much everything tries to stab us.
It's so specific.
Regrettably,
It's true.
I'll offer what support I can while trying to impede any sort of diplomacy, or avoid impeding any diplomacy.
So now the question is, since the bridge is down and Aretha is the only one that can get across, how are we going to get to them?
I mean, it sounds like you could swim, maybe, but you'd get wet.
Of course I
I
can
might be able to
swim.
pick up Namfudo. With my
I mean-
8 strength, I
Surprise.
definitely can't. Just kidding.
I can definitely swim. I don't mind getting wet.
Uh,
All right.
she like flaps a little and like takes off and like kind of awkwardly flies around in a little circle because she can't like hover fly and just like, okay, I'm ready when you are. Flap, flap, flap.
All right.
So,
So you
okay.
all cross the river? Everyone crossing?
yes.
All right.
Yep.
I'm gonna hang back.
Makes sense.
You're gonna hang back like across the river?
Sorry.
I mean, I was under the impression these guys were more or less right on the other side.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably cross the river and then like have like a few, maybe like 20, 30 feet, but like not like
How big is this river? Like across?
it's like maybe 30, 40 feet.
Oh, it's small.
Yeah, it's not a huge river. You can't really boat it.
Hmm.
Can I roll deception?
We'll do
Or
that.
should I wait?
Yeah, we'll wait on that one.
Okay.
All
Sure.
right. So you're gonna hang back on the other side of the river then, Ander.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So if a combat breaks out, basically you won't be able to get there.
That's fine.
I mean, if he wants to get there physically, but if he has spells, like a lot of our spells have a range of like 120
Yeah.
feet. So
You could fire
Yeah.
into it certainly, but you couldn't like physically be there.
No, that's fine.
we'll leave our only healer on the other side.
Yep.
Yeah.
Totally fine.
What's the
You're
worst
only
that can
healer.
happen?
Totally fine. Okay. So you all approach. So this is kind of what it looks like. There are 3 orcs. This one over here is chopping some wood. This one over here seems to be preparing some sort of game. And this one is just sort of standing sentry. And then as you guys walk up, he starts to walk up to you.
Greetings, friend. Do you speak common?
He shakes his head and responds in Orcish.
Arethi's gonna talk into his brain and say, "Can I talk in your head?" Because he can understand it. I think.
What's
the
that?
great old
What's that
one
ability
thing.
called?
It's the Warlock Great Old One patron ability. I'm pulling it up now. Sorry, trying to remember what it's called. It is Awakened Mind. Is the name of the ability. We don't need to share a language. We just have to be within 30 feet of each other. It does need to be able to understand a language.
Yep, it does. It says, actually, why don't you give me a persuasion check for me?
Sure. I have that. I swear. I don't have it. I don't have it well, but I have it. I had a not natural 20.
All right, that's pretty good. He freaks out a bit, but he says, we look for safety. Who are you?
I'm going to translate what you're saying to my friends, so I apologize if this is slow. And then she turns to the party and then she says what he says. So his question, he's saying like, what was the last thing he said? Like, what are you?
He said, "Who are you? We're looking for safety."
She's like going to let the others have a chance to speak, and if not, she'll say something.
Hi, I'm Sage.
That's Sage. My name is Orithi. We live nearby.
He nods.
What are you seeking safety from?
Translation.
He says the word for dead. Like the dead.
Ghouls?
Ghoul?
He doesn't understand that word.
You know, like their skin's fallen off and they don't look so good, and some of them walk on 4 instead of 2 legs.
He when you say that, his eyes go wide, and it's like, yes, the dead.
Are they trying to hurt you? Are they after you?
Translation.
They have hurt us.
Us too.
Same.
He sort of points at him, and then he points on the other side of the river.
Asking to cross?
You want to cross the river?
Hmm.
Where are you trying to get to?
Safety.
Or translation.
If you let us in, we can contribute.
Are you the leader of your people?
He shakes his head.
Who is your person in charge?
He yells back, and another person walks out of this tent here. It looks
This
like
one?
yeah, it's like a big
Oh.
orc with like half of its
Wow.
head shaved, and it's just he walks up, and he also
My
speaks in
man.
Orcish. He says they speak in Orcish to each other a bunch, and then they like point at you, and they point across the river. And you can see some pointing. Andrew, you want to give me an insight check as you're watching?
Sure. Here we go.
You think that they're pointing at you. You're like they're like pointing across the river, but you think that they're pointing at you and then talking to each other.
Oh no.
I'm just gonna stay where I am because I trust everybody else knows exactly what's going on.
Okay, and then we cut back over to Arethi and others.
Sir, your orcishness. Can I have a moment with my friend Arethi? Come here.
Can we just have a second and we'll be
Yeah,
right back?
they look confused, and then they just sort of look at each other and look back at you.
I'm just gonna turn and like common, like what's up?
So, like, they want to come into Gathol. Should we tell them that there is a army of ghouls that is after us that are trying to infiltrate and get into Gathol?
I mean, if you think that we can positively collaborate with them, and like they want to cross the river, they want to be safer. If we can increase our numbers without straining our resources too significantly, it might not be the worst idea to have them on our side.
So, here's what I'm worried about. I think it would definitely be beneficial, especially to get Big Boy over there to help us out in this fight. However, we don't know if they're willing to fight with us, especially if they're running from the ghouls and they're seeking like safety. But the other thing is like, if we don't say anything and we bring them in and then we're attacked by ghouls, isn't that going to make us look like we betrayed them?
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for the being transparent about what we're up against. I mean, the ghouls are a threat to everybody.
I agree.
If they want to cross, you know, and they are down with that kind of danger being potentially on the other side of the river as well, I mean, that's their
Okay.
choice. So I guess let's be honest and hope for the best.
We trust
Sounds
them?
good. All right. So Sage is gonna kind of turn back and look at the big one the leader.
I will translate into your leader's brain, she says to the guy who she has been talking to, and then it's
Thank-
just like, hello.
He explains to the leader. Like you get the sense that he speaks in Orcish and you think that he's explaining.
Yeah.
So the orc leader is like, you let us come across. We either stay and contribute or leave. What would you like?
Allow
So
my friend to explain, and then I will translate whatever Sage says.
So it's not that we have a problem with you coming across. It's that we feel we need to be transparent. Our party had a little run-in with the ghouls, and one of us may have upset them to the point where they are now after us and tracking us and are trying to infiltrate Gathol, where we're from. And we decided that the only way to stop this is to defeat their war leader, Zika, I think. Um,
I was more transparent than I was expecting, but I'm still translating everything.
so if you come across the way you can contribute, it would definitely be helping fight with us. But if that is not something that you are willing to do, we totally understand. But just know that if you come across, we may get attacked by ghouls.
Who angered them?
Hi.
They talk to each other for a minute. Everyone roll insight.
I have this one. Oh no, I don't. I was wrong. I do not
Is
have
that
this
in
one.
or exclude, Jason?
Not you.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Can hype as fuck. Copy. Not great. Not great at all.
Oh, cool.
Namfoodle, you think that he's there. The reason he asked that is you think that he might just like, well, if I kill the person they're mad at, then they won't come after me. Like that. You're translating through Arethi, but even through that, you can like read his body language when he says that.
Can I roll persuasion?
Question.
You don't know that happened.
Okay.
Sage.
What
Okay.
does the 23, 25 mean? Is
So, 23 is what you get. The number on the left is what you get. If you have advantage, you pick the higher of the two. If you have a
Okay.
disadvantage, you pick the lower of the two. So it's always
Okay.
going to roll 2d20s.
that? Okay, cool.
He says, "What did you do to anger them?"
So,
Say out loud to Sage. You might want to be careful with your answer. He looks kind of angry.
okay. They wanted me to help them basically bring them people to sacrifice to their demon god, and I was not really okay with that. And I basically told him no, I wasn't going to do that, and he threatened me, and I told him that he should find his own food if he has such a big like army. Like if he can find places, he can find people, but I told him I wasn't gonna work for him in finding him people to basically sacrifice and kill to their demon god.
Okay,
Yep. Arethi translates all of that totally verbatim.
just verbatim. Okay,
Yeah. She's just like, I'm going to say exactly what Sage is saying.
all right. So since you are not helping the discussion, like if you want to edit it, I'll let Sage have advantage on this persuasion check. If you're not editing it, then they're just gonna roll straight persuasion because you're not technically helping, right?
I mean, I feel like Orethi doesn't think she can say anything to make this better.
Okay.
Like, she doesn't think Sage has said anything that will make things worse. So
Okay.
she's choosing not to because she thinks if she helps, it'll actually hurt.
All right, now give me the persuasion check, Sage.
Good job.
Thank you.
He takes like a long contemplative moment and he says, "Okay, We cross the river now.
Are you willing to help fight?
We will think about it.
We will need our people to be able to coexist and work together in order for this agreement to be beneficial for anyone.
Yeah.
We will live outside the wall till we make our decision.
Seems fair.
Will you not interfere with our people as they are doing their business?
He nods.
Okay.
Get an inside check on the nod. Wait, like, is that all going on
Yeah,
in his head so I
Orethi is
wouldn't hear it at all?
translating everything
Yeah.
she's saying. Yeah, so
Yeah,
you can get an insight check. Yep, it's just harder, basically. Like, you have a harder DC.
I can do the okay. I'd like to do that.
Sure.
Sorry, guys. I only speak a few languages and brain.
It's hard to tell. You can't tell on that one. He nods,
Okay.
and then he says, he like looks at you, Orethi, and then he says out loud, like he says bridge, and then he starts making commands in Orcish to everyone else.
See if he will shake my hand if I go to shake his hand.
It doesn't seem like that's a custom he has.
She like does her like, huh?
He doesn't even like acknowledge, like, he, you know what I mean, like he's already doing stuff.
All right, why don't we go tell Ander what's up?
Sounds good. Jump back in the
Fucking
water.
back across the goddamn river.
Swim.
Okay,
swim,
so one thing you all notice is that this orc here, like, doesn't help them pack. He leaves. He goes east.
Can I make a perception check on him?
Yeah.
Okay. I have perception.
And then
okay.
everyone else starts packing up.
Yep. All right. My perception is garbage. I had a 13.
He just seems
We
to be
all
going
see that,
east.
or just Orethi?
I'm sorry, what was that, Peter?
Any of us see that, or just Orethi?
Yeah, you all do. They're not making like they're not hiding it, but Orethi wants to try to track where he's going.
That's not what I was actually attempting to
sorry.
do, but
What did you want to perceive then?
I just want to see if there's anything like physically off about him. Like, cultists we've interacted with have been all like partially petrified or whatever. Or like maybe this guy's like wearing some kind of insignia or war paint or like carrying a skull of something. Like just basically like observe man, see what he is about.
He doesn't seem as heavily geared. He's lighter geared. You think that he's like like a traveler rather than a fighter. Does that make sense?
Okay. Maybe he's like a scout or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I do perception to see if I can track where he's going?
If you're actually going to track him, all you know is that he's going west. If you're going to like not swim across and you're going to track him, then that's different.
So Sage is going to kind of turn to the others. Do you think someone should track him?
Probably someone should. Oh,
I
wait.
mean,
Which he's going west, right?
Yeah.
He's going into the plains.
To the. That's
So like over here. So you guys are here, and he starts walking down this path.
Oh, well, that's not too threatening. What's over in that direction?
You would know this. That's where the orcs are from. The orcs are from this area.
Oh,
I would leave him.
So don't track him.
if it looked like he was trying to cut around a different way around the river and into the mountains, then I'd probably keep an eye on him. But as it is, he might just be a messenger.
All right. Cool.
That's just my take.
Usually our problems try to stab us directly in the face, so I'm sure it's fine.
Yes.
Very cool.
All right.
All right.
I guess go back and tell Andrew what we just did.
Yeah. All right. So Ander, yeah, go ahead. Tell Ander what's up.
So they want to come into Gathol for safety because the ghouls are after them, We were very transparent in what was going on with the ghouls. They didn't really seem too pleased when I told them that I was the one that angered them, but I think when I explained the reason, they were more understanding. I don't know. I don't speak Orcish at all. We did tell
Talking
them
to
that
their brains.
yeah, Orethi talked into their brains. It was very helpful. We told them that if they come in, we really need them to help fight, and they said they would think about it. So they're going to stay on the other side until they come up with the decision, and they promised that they would not interfere with what we're doing in Gathol.
Well, they said they'd stay outside. I think they're still crossing the river.
Yes, right.
Like they're not coming
Thank
into
you.
the city though.
Right. That's it.
Well, I certainly don't think it would be right of us to turn away refugees, so I don't think that was a poor decision in the slightest. I think we should at least extend them the option to remain in Gathol if they choose to live amicably, even if they don't want to necessarily fight. That seems like a bit much for us to ask of them. If they're willing to mutually benefit our society in other ways other than pure military force, then I don't see any reason we couldn't accept them.
I mean, I definitely agree.
Sage,
It's-
can you reconnect?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I'm doing that now. I'm trying to. I definitely understand where you're coming from. My biggest concern was I just lost internet access. Oops.
Oh.
Oh no. What the heck happened? Sorry, I gotta reconnect my internet.
While I'm just systematically pumping water out of various pockets and pouches.
Your 4 pockets.
Okay.
You probably
There
weigh
you go.
like 30 pounds more than when you started just because you're so waterlogged and filled with like river water and river rocks now.
Right.
Sometimes
another
like
thing,
a bone or a clump of moss will come out and I put it back, I hastily pack it back into the pocket it came out of.
Another thing you notice while you're over here is
Spells have
that
components, right? It's a
Huh?
thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, you have
Spells
spell
have
components.
components,
I don't
but-
worry about them unless they cost like money.
Okay.
Over here, this is where the Celestials fell. It used to be like just like a crater where they crash landed, and now there's like a church built there.
Okay. Can you guys see me?
No.
That's weird. I can see all of you.
Celestials are
Try
gods.
reconnecting again.
Yes.
Celestials are
What are-
divine humanoid beings, I think.
Like lesser gods.
Like
Like
angels.
angels.
Gods and their like respective agents, like angels and things like that.
How's that?
Yep, good.
Good.
Perfect. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, I need to reconnect because I cannot see.
Yeah, I can't see you either, Peter.
Okay, I'll reconnect.
Sorry, I'm off.
There we go. Well,
Yay.
nope.
Bye.
I lost Mel again.
Oh no.
All right,
Same.
Mel, you reconnect.
Okay.
If I can see everyone, that's the ideal.
Connecting. All right.
Nope, I can't see you. Oh, there you
There
go.
we go.
All right, cool. You're good.
Okay.
So, what would you all like to do now?
We need
mean,
to start empowering the forces that we work for.
I mean, also, how much time do we have left until we bring 5 people to Zika?
It's been about 4 days, so you'll definitely
Jesus
you'll
Christ.
definitely have to address it this game. Like you won't reach another game. Peter, we lost you.
So-
Why'd we lose you?
I
I
didn't
see
lose them.
Peter.
I see him.
Oh,
I,
there.
I
can see.
reconnected just because I was
It's okay.
losing
good.
people.
Yeah, sometimes
Okay.
you might not see people. The important thing is I can see people. That's
So, we don't have much time before I'm supposed to bring people to Zika. So I think like we really need to make sure we know what our plan is and everybody's on the same page.
Zika, the leader of the ghouls, or the demon thing they worship?
He's the
leader of the
war,
ghouls.
the leader. He's a war leader.
So
Yeah.
what is the plan? Is the plan still literally take people from our own culture and sacrifice them to empower a demon?
Why don't we just
No.
not do that?
I think the plan was for me to bring 5 of our best fighters and act like they're the sacrifice, and then try to kill Zika that way.
Okay.
What if we just
However,
openly refuse to comply with demands?
That's
did-
why the ghouls started attacking everyone. They almost killed us the other day.
I
It was
almost
terrible.
got eaten.
You
They tried
did.
to
It was
eat-
awful.
It was awful. So we tried that, and now they're tracking us. And they're trying to kill me and stuff.
And trying to kill Gathol in general.
Yes. So, I will say that I did read up on these and well, we're in for a fight. They are resistant to necro. They are immune to poison. They can't be charmed. They can't be exhausted. They're really not weak against much because they're undead. Now that's primarily like the stronger ones. The weaker ones might have more weaknesses, but we're gonna really need some spells that specifically target the undead. I don't know if trying to stab him with my dagger is going to work.
It's a good thing I spent most of my young adult life studying necromancy.
It's a long shot, but I've been thinking about it myself. It seems like whatever protection the Silver Flame is giving Sparrow's Crest seems to at least be repelling the ghouls from there. Is there a way that we could potentially force them above the surface in it that might weaken them significantly? If nothing else, it would give us an edge almost certainly.
I mean, if that doesn't work, that's putting Sparrow's Crest in a lot of danger. Do you think we should talk to Siegfried first?
I think it's worth at least speaking with him about, but it's the only thing my mind could keep getting back to.
No, you make a really good point. Like, now that you bring it up, that is, I feel like that might be why they wanted me to bring them people, because maybe the Silver Flame is stopping them from going up and getting people themselves.
They can only work through their agents, it sounds like.
Well, is that what the cultists are? They're like
Yes.
aides.
Presumably.
So yeah. So it sounds like they're using the cultists.
Right.
So do we have to worry about the cultists as well?
I mean, the cultists sound like they'll probably fight in favor of their god, but we have to fight everyone. We have to fight everyone. That's just how it is.
Do you think that we should have 2 parties, one that's going to take on the cultists above ground and then one that's going to try to get the to come up?
I just don't think we can
What
fight
from-
the ghouls at all. I think even one of them is probably a sufficient challenge, let alone a dozen or whatever they have underground. You
So
saw,
how-
what, 6 of them?
So, Ander, are you saying that we should try to get the ghouls to come up to where the Silver Flame is, or we bring the Silver Flame to them?
I think either would theoretically work. I mean, clearly the presence of whatever protection Sparrow's Crest has is anathema to what the ghouls are, right?
So
if there's any way to force the 2 of them together,
well, I don't think we're going to have much luck getting them to come above ground because they know what's up there. And I think as soon as we try to convince them of that, they're going to just be like, no, like, we can't. There's that Silver Flame.
What is the Silver Flame that keeps coming up?
It's a deity.
It's
yes.
a deity that Sage definitely knows a lot about.
Yeah, Sage is the expert.
I
They're
am.
a true member of their faith.
I am, yeah. Blessed be Silver Flame.
And their domain is above ground? Is that works? Why are the ghouls safe underground from
There's a
wrath
mist.
of a god?
protection.
Is that
Yeah.
Basically, the Silver Flame seems to produce some kind of mist through their rituals, the specifics of which Sage, of course, understands in ways that I never could. But mist doesn't go below the ground, which is why the ghouls can be below ground, it seems. That's my interpretation. I'm not certain. But the mist doesn't go below, which is why they can be there, but they can't go up. But their cultists don't care about the mist.
How damaging is this mist to them? Could we perhaps bottle it? Put it in
That
a
would
jar?
be very interesting.
Another thought I was having, and Sage, correct me if I'm wrong. You said we can't charm them. We can't ensorcel them that way. Could we perhaps frighten them towards it?
You could.
Yep, yes.
They're not immune to
Yes.
frightening.
They're not immune to frightening.
So maybe it's not ensorceling them towards it, but frightening them in that direction, effectively hurting them above ground. Certainly more difficult, but
That's not really. Can you do that?
no, regrettably.
I can't really do it either.
Yeah, I don't. Well,
Let's
can
see.
we?
I have minor illusion. I don't think that's enough to conjure up something to scare 12 ghouls. Probably.
I just want to talk to Shax. Like, it's becoming more and more evident that people can connect with their deities in meaningful ways, and I'm trying, and I wish I could get something done. Ugh.
If there is a war among the gods themselves, I think all of our connections may be. I even find it more difficult lately to commune in what little ways I can with Mistra.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, I just don't know if we have the physical strength necessary to fight against all these ghouls, and I don't know if we have the healing to keep us up when we go down.
So, can we? Is it possible to move the silver flame?
What?
I said, is it possible to move the thing that they threw their art projects in and everything? That the big is that what we're talking about? That they're scared of?
Maybe. You'd have to ask.
I was going to say, it sounds like we're posing a lot of questions to ourselves when we know Siegfried is the one who actually has the answers.
Well, so I mean, this would be what my suggestion would be. I think we're gonna have if we can move the flame. Let's assume we can move it. I think we're gonna have an easier time bringing the flame underground versus getting them to come above ground. So I think the first thing we need to do is we need to make sure we deal with the cultists. I think we have a pretty good chance destroying the cultists that are above ground. That way we don't have to worry about them. And I think the second step is somehow, and we can talk more about this, bringing the flame down to them.
Then we should capture some of the cultists alive so that you can turn them over to your demon.
What?
I agree.
Would that work, though? Would they willingly sacrifice their own? Well, never
I
mind.
don't know. They're a demon cult. This is
So,
why we don't
Which
work with
leads me to
demon
believe they
cults.
don't value even their own worshippers that highly.
Why
Zika
are
made
we-
no specifications over qualifications of the sacrifices. He literally said, "I don't care. Bring me anyone."
You should. Can we explain this to Namfoodle so that they're up to speed?
Yeah.
Yes. So, the ghouls worship this big demon thing that they sacrifice people to. They asked Sage to help them, bring them people. Sage refused. They let Sage go. Then next game, they tracked down the party and attacked us. Sage figured out, that it was Zika, who is the war leader, that sent them. They went back to Sparrow's Crest, and Sage talked to them again, and was like, okay, what do you want? They said, basically Sage was like, stop like hurting my friends because they didn't do anything. And the deal was for Sage to bring them 5 people a week until forever, basically. And so
Exchange for
Zika,
what?
For them not killing.
for them
all of
not
us.
killing us and infiltrating Gathol. So Sage asked specifically, well, am I bringing the people to you, to Zika specifically? And Zika said, yes, you're bringing it to me specifically. And Sage was like, okay. So now Sage's idea is like, well, he said specifically him, so if we end his forever, I don't have to bring them. Because if I'm bringing them to him and then he doesn't exist anymore, I don't have to bring them, because he didn't say, oh, you bring them to me and you bring them to like this person. He said specifically himself. So we decided, after Sage was like, maybe we should sacrifice dying and sick people who are going to die anyways, but then Aretha and Andrew didn't think that was a good idea. They agreed that trying to kill Zika was the best thing to do.
I mean,
Okay.
it's certainly not a moral. I don't want to sacrifice good people to a demon.
I
Forgive
don't
me
want
if
to
it rubs me the wrong
sacrifice.
way.
I don't want to sacrifice people either. But my thing was, if they're gonna die anyway, maybe it would be a sacrifice for Gathol.
Oh.
I don't know. I was just thinking of things.
So
We clearly have different life experiences that inform our morality.
Clearly.
So, the cultists worshipping the same demon?
Yes.
Oh, one of the plans is to get the cultists and offer them to the ghoul as a sacrifice?
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
All right. I've just counted my gold and done some thinking. I can afford to buy us a couple of sets of manacles just in case. So before we leave,
What?
I'd like to stop off. Manacles like handcuffs and stuff.
Oh, right.
I'm not really like the bird claws aren't really great for tasks of manual dexterity like that, but I'm
Oh.
sure we can make it work.
Speaking of which, I don't know if you guys saw the handout for things that are for sale now, but the last group got 2 crystallized magic, and they unlock the ability to purchase magical shields and trinkets. So there's like
Cool.
a few like items for sale that you can pick up in there.
Yeah, I was looking at that.
Have any money?
All right, while the players review that cool thing, we're gonna go on break.
Break.
Break.